Hey everyone, welcome back to another Secrets and Analysis video. This whole week we are going to be discussing the episodes from the recent Steven bomb, which actually got leaked. So I'm hoping you guys, when Steven's Dream does air on the 30th, everyone supports the official show by watching it on Cartoon Network or the app, or even buying it on iTunes. So of course, as always, we are going to be, going pretty deep in analysis here, looking at all the little details from this episode. And today, I think we'll also be doing Adventures in Light Distortion later, and we'll also go in depth with that. So
Yes.
let's begin this one. So to start this episode off, we see that Steven has a dream that makes him cry like a ton. And this actually does end up happening more than once, of course, because that's pretty suspicious how much he cries from just dreaming.
Yeah.
But what is interesting is that this scene is what we saw in the previews, of those flowers and the palanquin. But people were thinking this would be from Gem Heist, but it turned out not to be. So that's interesting how the file name was totally wrong about that.
Yeah, I thought that that picture was actually going to be from like some sort of flashback or something. I don't know why I didn't think about it being in the dream at all.
Right?
It seemed like kind of obvious now that I think about it.
Yeah, same. So in his dream, he also sees a pink palanquin, and he tries to make the gems go to where it is because he's like, it's obvious that he really wants to go there because he knows something's up there because he's seen it before in Buddy's book, I believe. I think he remembers that, or maybe Connie does.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, they
Yeah,
won't
Connie.
take him. And I mean, I'm glad to actually finally see how fed up he is with them and them not giving him information,
Yeah.
especially since he's asking for it, which is what I've been hoping for the longest time, and finally.
Yeah, it was kind of complicated here because Garnet, like, she had the future vision, so I feel like Garnet wanted to tell him genuinely, but she knew if she did, then things could be bad, and she couldn't go with him, and like it was kind of like a complicated loop of I guess future vision, where if she didn't tell him, he was just gonna go. If she did tell him, then she would have to like go with him, get caught. Like she just saw all the bad things happening, so there was a very clear reason why she wasn't saying anything. I can't really speak for Pearl, but yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, since the gems won't refuse to take him, he gets his father to take him, and this place just happens to be in Korea, which of course is not very close. And but thankfully, from Gem Harvest, we now know Andy, and he's able to take them to Korea. And so thankfully, it looks like Gem Harvest did have a bigger impact on the show's plot than I originally thought, which is great to see, of course.
Yeah, it was like that one piece of plot point. Like how were they in that plane for like 16 hours? Like
A really
that
fast.
small plane.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's not a short flight.
Yeah, another little tiny Easter egg I noticed when Steven goes to see his dad in the van, he has the KK Slider poster again from Animal Crossing.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Those little video game details.
Yeah.
The best. So they arrive in Korea and they decide to, have some fun because there's like a ton of details on the streets and inside buildings. So like you see like some food vendors, authentic Korean food, and like even karaoke. I guess like Korean things, common Korean things. And there's even like one thing I thought was interesting is that like there was old ladies that look like Steven.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was about, but I think, and a lot of people would agree, that the best part about their travels in Korea was when they pretty much shattered the fourth wall
Again.
and showed the animation studio where Steven Universe was being made.
Yeah, that was pretty trippy.
Right.
Yeah, I have a theory that the universe of Steven Universe is canonically a cartoon universe. Since this
What?
is not the first time this has happened, since we have straight up storyboards of characters from Steven Universe, that there's no way some random person in Korea would know that Pro wore a tuxedo.
Right.
And we had Sardonyx breaking the fourth wall, getting footage from Cartoon Network, talking about Nicki Minaj. So I think like kind of like how Marvel Comics kind of talked about this before, how Marvel Comics, Deadpool is aware that they're in a comic book world, and it is canonically a comic book world. I think the same thing's happening with Steven Universe. But that also begs the question, the person who was drawing the storyboards, Are they like God in that universe? Like,
Dun,
they just
dun,
live in
dun.
Korea?
I mean, yeah, maybe their boss is God, and they just got they just follow in
Yeah.
their instructions because she was even drawing the current
Yeah.
costumes they were wearing, like clothes they were wearing. Yeah,
What does it all mean?
crazy. So they make it to where the palanquin is, and we see all those flowers, from the dream, and which is cool because we did guess correctly, I believe, that this would be in Asia. So that was really cool. But one thing that this bomb did not cover was that how those flowers will have to do with Jasper. I'm not sure. Maybe that was just like a little reference. Oh, we are going to see that flower, because if you guys, maybe not everybody knows, but there was this picture from San Diego Comic-Con where they showed all the main gems in tuxedos, and Jasper had one of on her tuxedo. She had a flower, the exact same flower that we see in this episode. So I'm wondering, what does Jasper have to do with this? Will this ever have some significance or not? Because this was not covered. That was not covered really at all in this bomb.
Yeah, I think since that's the place where Pink Diamond was shattered, and since that was Jasper's diamond, but also it seemed like Jasper was really kind of shooken up by it. I think that was just kind of like a nod to that, maybe. I don't know if that's necessarily going to come directly into play again. I could be wrong. But I think that was just more of a representation more than anything.
Yeah. And then we see Blue Diamond's palanquin, which obviously is not the one he saw in his dream. So that means that, of course, that Blue Diamond and Blue Pearl are, there, and they are next to Pink Diamond's palanquin. And something interesting that I saw somebody bring up, which would go against my theory entirely, was that, or, it could have been both, I guess, that in Three Gems and a Baby, it was just foreshadowing Blue Diamond's return with the blue jacket poncho thing Greg wore. So it looks kind of like Blue Diamond's. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know, because I was hoping for like the Story of Christmas parallels, but it could be both or neither, or he just chose a blue poncho, whatever. That could have been something. Yeah, but I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
So this we see that Blue Diamond is crying a whole lot, and now it makes sense why Steven was crying. He was crying because of Blue Diamond, and probably most likely it was because of his empathy powers. We know that he can feel other gems, especially when they're having strong emotions, and that means that probably because diamonds are like the biggest gems, and they have such the strongest emotions, most likely, of like any gem. So he was able to feel it like all the way across the world in the United States, and she was in Korea. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
So we know it's been thousands of years since Pink Diamond was shattered, as they say, and Blue Diamond is still crying about that. So that means they were probably very close. Maybe Blue Diamond taught Pink Diamond a lot of stuff. There was only 4 diamonds, so, and we know that Earth was Pink Diamond's first and only colony. So obviously, like, they were really close, and it's sad. It's kind of sad to see Blue Diamond like that, but she did a lot of bad stuff too.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting to see that kind of development, because up until this point, we've only ever really seen the diamonds being cruel, cold, just not, just pretty much heartless. And we've only ever heard of them doing bad things and Homeworld doing bad things. And to see Blue Diamond genuinely grieving over Pink Diamond and crying and like being human basically was like very interesting. And I'm curious as to see how, because this show is really big on empathy. The show is really big on kind of trying to understand others, even if they're, your enemies or whatever. We've seen it with Peridot, we've seen it with Lapis, and we got a greater understanding of those characters, and even Jasper. We got a greater understanding and a connection with the villains, and understanding where they were coming from, and kind of humanizing them. So I'm very curious as to see how they're gonna kind of make. I don't know if it's gonna stop here with just Pink Diamond, basically dying, or if there's a deeper like reasoning. An explanation for why the diamonds do what they do and act the way they act.
Yeah, that'd be really interesting if we got an explanation for that.
Yeah.
So another thing that we kind of already knew, but then like it's just so strange, I guess, is that Blue Diamond did not know when the cluster was going to merge at all. They just kind of know soon. But then technically it should have already been, Earth should have already been gone by now. So it's, she could have just went all the way there for nothing. But then they don't even know exactly when it's going to merge. So that's weird. I don't think Yellow Diamond knows either. You think Diamonds would know this, but I guess they're not, I guess maybe it just kind of random whenever it was going to merge. So they just know soon. But apparently, obviously, they're still in the dark about this, which is a good thing, obviously.
Yeah, something that's interesting is we still don't really know why they want the cluster and why they want the Earth destroyed. But I think seeing Pink Diamond grieving that much, it could be more of a thing. Blue Diamond hurting that much over Pink Diamond. I think it could be kind of an irrational, spiteful thing, kind of an immature, lashing out on the planet that basically took Pink Diamond away, potentially.
Okay, so I think the cluster was all Yellow Diamond's idea, because you see how she, Blue Diamond and Yellow Diamond are kind of the opposite in how they grieve. So on one hand, you got Blue Diamond, who's trying to preserve everything, which we'll get into later during the zoo, try to preserve Pink's legacy. While then Yellow, on the other hand, is trying to do the opposite by destroying everything, that the place that killed, her sister, pretty much.
Yeah.
So that's why she made the cluster, despite the fact that it's using a ton of resources and stuff. She is not. She doesn't care. She's she's just too emotional and doesn't think about what they could be spending, be more efficient on. So I think that's Yellow Diamond's side of things. For all that. Yeah,
and that would totally explain why she was so adamant, I want that planet to die. She wanted, you're right, she wanted to destroy, we're skipping ahead here.
Yeah.
But she wanted to destroy the rose quartz gems and stuff. So that would kind of explain why she was so adamant about the cluster just destroying the Earth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So for some reason Greg comes out of, they were hiding with Steven and Greg, and then Greg comes out and talks to Blue Diamond, and just like we had guessed, actually he gets captured by a homeworld gem. It happens to be Blue Diamond, and they leave in this giant blue arm ship. So I'm just wow, it looks like A Wrinkle in Time is actually, it was pretty much a parallel, or not even an Easter egg, just a whole. CMears took the whole plot of.
With its own changes.
Yes.
But if you guys don't know, we did a theory a little while ago. We'll leave a link down below in the description and also at the end of the video about Connie's books and how they've been kind of foreshadowing events. And the one book she holds in the first intro is A Wrinkle in Time, and that book has a ton of very, very obvious parallels throughout the series, between the crystal gems and Connie and her story, and it kind of references the main hero's father from the book gets kidnapped to a faraway planet, and that's kind of what happened with Greg. Since Greg is kind of like a father figure to Connie. Not gonna get into all the details, but basically that ended up coming into fruition.
Yeah, so that's pretty incredible considering that this was the first intro, the first 30 seconds of the show. Foreshadowed something, pretty much more or less foreshadowed an event that would take place 112 episodes in, I believe. I cannot believe this, and that people caught on to that. I mean, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, mind-blowing.
So there's other parallels. So we'll see if in the future anything else from that book happens. I need to read that book. Definitely after this, I need to read it. So then after that, the episode's almost finished. And we see that, Steven tries to catch up with them, but he can't. And he uses his floating abilities to try and jump for them. The ship, obviously no luck there. And then Garnet catches him and promises that they will get his father back. And that pretty much ends the episode off.
Yep. And that's it.
Okay, that's all you had to say?
Yep, kids show.
Yeah, that's true. And it only gets weirder after this. Pretty much.
Yeah, it was a great episode. It was seeing Blue Diamond and Blue Pearl just there. It was crazy.
Yeah. I predicted Blue Pearl on Earth. for the wrong reasons, but I did predict Blue Beryl. But I didn't expect Blue Diamond. I don't think to be just like totally fine and just come on to Earth for sentimental reasons, I guess.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So awesome episode. We'll be, of course, analyzing the other 4 very shortly, and so look forward to all that. There's a ton to analyze, and thank you for watching.
See ya.